Okay, guys, this morning we're doing something pretty easy, just um, biscuits. I'm going to do country ham, bacon, egg and cheese biscuits. Chris would probably leave out the country ham part of it, but you'll get the point. I've just fried up a mess of bacon and country ham out on the grill. I'm assuming when you do this, you'll already have the bacon or the country ham or whatever ready. And if you need a lesson on how to, try to get the sun out of the way. If you need a lesson on how to do bacon or country ham, then I really can't help you. You should know that by now. For the biscuits, I like the Grands, Pillsbury Grands frozen biscuits. This is how they come out. One has already been eaten this morning. I usually do 4 at a time, but you can do it however many you want. Comes in a bag of 20 or 12, or you can get a really big bag of like 32 at Costco, or actually you used to be able to, but at any rate, that's what we use. And so that's where the start is. It takes about 24 minutes or so in the oven. First, you start off with a little pat of margarine or butter if you want in the skillet. And for anyone, and you know who you are, who is afraid of burning their fingers or something being too hot, you really don't have to worry about it. You can just take your fingers on the top of it. It's not going to touch any hot surface. And just make sure all of it is covered. And then, once you make sure all the surface is covered like this, you can just kind of leave it to melt on its own. And then you can pick up the skillet and manipulate it around the bottom. So we wait till that gets done. At this point, I already have, like I said, a mess of bacon and country ham that I'm going to use. If it's fresh off the grill or the spatula, not the spatula, the griddle or the skillet, then you can probably just use it as is. If you need to heat it up for 10 seconds in the microwave, you can do that before you put it on your thing. But anyway, we just wait for the butter or margarine to get melted, and then we start with the egg. I prefer Eggland's Best Eggs and Kraft American cheese. Butter or margarine is melted. This is when we crack our egg in it. And again, this is going to be a little bit hard to do while videotaping myself, but I will try. And then, well, I'm just going to open it up and let the egg go into the butter. Hold on. Take a look at the cheese there for a while. Okay, so I've opened up the egg, and then I just take the eggshell and break the yolk. Okay? At this point, this is where if you were doing a English muffin, I would start the toaster on the English muffin. It always seems to time out perfectly. But to start the toaster on the English muffin, as soon as the egg yolk is cracked. And so what we're going to do here is we just let it get fried up on one side, and then we will flip it here in a minute, and you'll see the rest of that. So I have the egg frying on medium heat, and then once I flip it, and you just want to get it to where if it can move around on the skillet like that with ease, it's ready to flip. And so I just take the spatula underneath it. Okay, that didn't work out too well. Really hard to do this one-handed. And then I flip it. Okay, once I flip it, I take the heat down to low from medium. It's been frying on medium. I take it down to low. If I want to, that's when I can heat up a biscuit if it's set, but that feels pretty good. I'm going to put some country ham on the bottom of the biscuit. Actually, I believe I am going to warm it up. And I'm going to warm it up in the microwave for about 10 seconds right before I put the egg on it. But here is where, now here's the tricky part. When I'm using these small biscuits, I want to show you what I do. I take the American cheese and I cut it in half or tear it in half put one on one side of the egg, and then I, see if I can do this, flip. You see I just flipped with the spatula the egg over on top of itself, so I have the one slice of cheese in the middle. Sorry for the camera work, it'd be better if I had somebody helping me, but don't want to burden anybody. And then I put the other slice of cheese on top. Now, the other thing you can do if you wanted to warm up your country ham or bacon, you could just like put it in the skillet while it is, but this is pretty good. And so I'm gonna tear this up and put it on top while again, it's on low. So hold on top of it. And now, because it's cooked long enough, I'm actually going to turn the heat off and just let it kind of cook like that for a second, just with the heat from the skillet. I'm gonna put the biscuit in the microwave for about 10 seconds, and then we'll be ready to go. The biscuit has now been warmed up, and here is going to be the tricky part because I'm doing it one-handed. But you take the, what is left, or not what is left, but what is done with the egg and bacon and cheese, and then you just place it on top of the biscuit. For me, you know, it's on top of the country ham. If you don't want like country ham, you just put it on top of the biscuit. And then you're gonna have to slide it off with either a knife or a fork or your finger, which is what I usually use. And then you put the lid on top of it. I can't do all that one-handed. Placed it on top of the biscuit. You just take this, I shouldn't have to show you. You take the top of the biscuit and put it on, and voila, you have a nice breakfast biscuit.